Yo, what is good, YouTube? We are back with another video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are hitting that like button and that sub button. We are on the road to 2,000 subscribers, only a couple hundred away. But today's video is going to be, as you guys know, the NBA draft is coming up this Thursday, which would be the 22nd, I believe. So that means that my team is going to be dropping all of the newly drafted players into the game. I'd say out of the players that are getting drafted, I'm just going to name a couple that I'd say we guaranteed see. Obviously, we're going to see Wembanyama. We're going to see Scoot Henderson. We'll probably see Jarris Walker. We'll probably see like Grady Dick. Just people with a lot of hype around their name. I don't know if we'll see Brandon Miller because he's got the legal stuff going on. Don't even know where he's going to get drafted. Personally, I think that the Hornets should draft him second. Or third, wherever the Hornets pick. I think the Hornets would be the best fit for him. I haven't really gotten too deep into the actual mock drafts or anything. I've been paying attention to the Thunder at 12. That's all I really care about. Don't care about much other than that. If we trade up, cool. But I think the consensus top three has been Wemby and then either Scoot or Brandon Miller. That's been the top three. Obviously, Brandon Miller's got some legal issues going on, so I don't know if we'll see him in the game. But we'll definitely be seeing these cards coming this Friday. So with that being said, we are going to be looking into how is this going to change the game. So you're going to be adding a 7'4" center. As most people know, 2K this year has been dominated by tall centers. And it's just kind of one of those things to where, how is this going to change 2K? Typically every year they give these cards pretty good cards. I don't think that we're going to see an invincible or an end game out of these cards. I think they'll all be regular dark matters. It'll probably be the next packs, and there will also be maybe like younger players invincibles and maybe a young player's dark matter. I'd say in terms of the invincibles, there's a good chance we see a Luka. Unfortunately, we just got Tatum. Zion's already a thing, so we're not going to see Zion. LaMelo's already a thing, so I'd say Luka. I'd love to see an invincible Shea. We should see an invincible Shea. But I'd say the invincibles will probably be younger players. The end game might see, a Giannis. He's still pretty young. What is he, 26, 27? So he might be 28. I'm not 100% sure. But Giannis is still pretty young, so we'll probably see a Giannis. But we're going to get into the cards from last year just to kind of compare them as to what we might see out of the next cards this year. I put a 1-to-1 player comparison on what I think some of these cards might be. And we are going to go ahead and start off with the comparison to Wembanyama. I think the only fair one would be Chet Holmgren. And if we go back to last year, they gave him a beast of a card. He came out, he was super expensive, had pretty much every Hall of Fame defensive badge, which I think is probably what we'll see with Wembanyama. I'd say he'd have close to every Hall of Fame badge, if not every Hall of Fame badge. Obviously, you can't compare these badges 1-to-1. There are some badges in this game that aren't in 23. There are some badges in 23 that weren't in 22. Some of them just simply changed names. But when you look at these badges, they ended up giving him pretty much every defensive badge and about half of each other category, Hall of Fame, half of them gold. Playmaking were a little bit low. I think we might see just a little bit more on the playmaking side for Wembanyama. I think he moves really well. Signature, size up wise, I don't know what they'd give him. Maybe they'll give us something good like a Steve Francis. Maybe they'll give us Jordan, Kobe. That's going to be really important on how good that card's going to be. Last year, they ended up giving Chet Kobe. So that's obviously a good size up in this game. And it was a pretty good size up last year too. Kobe's always been a good size up. So I'd say that if Wembanyama got Kobe, that would be a huge W for the game. But looking at his attributes, there's not really much here that you could say needs better. I mean, Chet had a 90 driving dunk. I'd say Wembanyama's probably around the same. Neither one of them are like crazy finishers, but they can both get to the rim. 3-point wise, they gave Chet a 96. I'd say, I mean, at this point in the game, it doesn't matter if we think Chet's a better shooter than Wemby or not. Wemby's going to be in the 96 or above range. Speed 95, acceleration 95. All kind of things that I would say should be similar. If not, Wemby will be better because we're just at that point in the game to where all cards are going to have high speed. But defensively, they made Chet a monster. 98 interior, 95 perimeter, 96 lateral, 95 steal, 99 block. I would say it has to be exactly the same, if not better. So I think that this Chet Holmgren card right here is a good way to put it. Gave him 45 Hall of Fame badges. I don't think that Wemby will have that much, just because this game there's less Hall of Fame badges that you could actually have. Last year I think you could have close to 70 on a player. This year the max is 64, I believe. So I'd say Wemby probably be 35 badges, maybe 40. I'd say this might be the week that they start jumping regular Dark Matters to 40 Hall of Fame badges. They've been dropping all the regular ones with 35 the last, I'd say month and a half or so, maybe last month. So I'd say this might be the week that we see 40 Hall of Fame badge, just base Dark Matter cards. And if that's the case, that'd be huge for that Wemby card. I definitely think that Wembanyama is going to change this game. I mean, you look at Yao Ming, you look at Taco, you look at Manute Bol, you look at all these tall bigs, Bol, players like that, and he's going to fit right in, but he's going to do a lot of things that they can't. He's just going to have the mobility. I think he's going to have much better animations than any other 7'4" player in the game, and he should move better than any other 7-foot-plus player in the game. So I definitely think that this is going to be a card that's going to do a lot of damage and going to really mess up the marketplace. I think that a lot of cards are going to go down. I think Yao Ming's going to go down. I wouldn't be surprised to see his Galaxy Opal as a buyout. I wouldn't be surprised to see his Dark Matter go down as much as 200,000. I'm not sure where he's selling at now. I think he's selling around 500 to 600. I wouldn't be surprised to see him around 300. I think this Wembanyama card he definitely won't be a buyout. I'd say maybe 200,000 to 300,000 MT. Off the bat. Could even be more than that, but I think if you have extra Hall of Fame badges sitting around, this will be the perfect week to badge up a card. But with that being said, we are going to get into the next card, which is going to be Paolo Banchero. I'm looking at Paolo Banchero as just somebody that is just kind of dynamic. I don't like Paolo at the 5. I don't like Paolo at the 4. And it's just kind of one of those things to where last year I would have liked for them to put him at the 3, but Paolo's comparison, we had Wemby to Chet. Paolo's comparison is going to be Jarris Walker. I think we could get a Jarris Walker in the game. I think they both play fairly similar, and like I said, I'd like to see Jarris at the 3. I know he's more of a 4, didn't play too much 5 this year, and I don't think he'll ever really see 5 in the NBA, so I think he's going to be either playing the 3 or the 4. And when we compare Paolo to Jarris, they're once again closely similar players. Just they can get buckets. I think Jarris is slightly better on the defensive end than Paolo is. I don't look at Paolo as an insane defender in any aspect of the game. And it kind of reflects here, as you can see, only 95 interior, which is great. But, I mean, these cards come out so late in the game that cards just kind of already have that interior defense. 92 perimeter. Wasn't very good. 93 laterals, okay. But a 90 block on a power forward center is just not really cutting it. It's one of those things. I mean, you really don't need it to be higher, but you definitely want it to be higher. Getting into the playmaking, they did give him really good playmaking stats. 94 ball handle, 92 pass accuracy, 92 passing vision, which the crazy thing between when this card came out along with Chet is that they were very close, but Chet was almost better, the 95 to 95, and then you come over here, 96, 95. I'd say 100 times out of 100 you give up one speed with ball for one ball handle, because if you have 95 splits, you put a +4 on them and they're both 99. So I think that's one of those things that it definitely I think they made the Chet card better last year, and I think the Jarris Walker card, just because of how hyped Wemby is, I think he will be slightly worse in attributes. Obviously, I think Wemby's the consensus #1 pick. But at this point in the game, the Dark Matters that they've been dropping have been, pretty similar in attributes. And I think that just because of the prospect and how hyped he's been, I definitely think that Wemby's going to be a lot higher in some of these attributes, and it's really going to kind of suck for these cards. I don't know how good the Jarris Walker is going to be, but as you can see here, they gave Paolo most of the defensive badges, pretty much all the important ones. I say the only one you would have wanted him to have would be Chase Down. If he's going to be, playing the 4 or 5, I'm gonna, hope that he's gonna have chase now because he's gonna be chasing a lot of 7-foot centers. You don't want him to be chasing Wemby. I wouldn't like that matchup between Jarris. Wouldn't like that matchup between Paolo last year chasing Chet. So one thing to consider. Shooting badges, they kind of did him dirty last year. I think Jarris is a slightly better shooter as well. Paolo in real life went through a really tough month this year where I think he was like 1 for 40 or something from three. So they definitely got that spot on with kind of cruising his shooting just a little bit. They gave him a 93 shot three, so you can still hit it, but there's just some of these badges. Chef last year would be, what's that badge called in this game? That's just the moving threes badge. Or no, Circus Threes last year was the moving threes badge. Chef was the range, so that would have been limitless. So you would want him to have Hall of Fame on both of those. Green Machine, you would have wanted Hall of Fame, Hot Zone Hunter. So obviously some of these badges aren't in the game. They have different names or whatever. But these are just badges that you want Hall of Fame regardless. So if they didn't give them to him last year, then I'm wondering what important badges this year they aren't going to give the players. And that's going to be something that's definitely going to be on the lookout. They did give him Penny Hardaway size up, however, which was a really good size up last year. Gave him normal size up escape package. You really want to see a Kobe size up escape package this year. That would be huge. But other than that, this card was not a bad card, but I don't think too many people were running it. I think the people that were Magic fans and people who just overall were a Paolo fan in general, but I don't think that a Jarris Walker card is really going to be a game changer like Wembanyama will. Getting into the next card, it is going to be Ben Mathurin. There really wasn't a card to compare to Grady Dick. I definitely think he's going to be in the game. So it's just kind of one of those things that, I got to get as close as possible. I think Ben's definitely more athletic, a better finisher. But the real reason why I'm comparing here is for the shooting. As you could see, they gave Ben Mathurin pretty much all of the important shooting badges. The only one you would have wanted extra would probably be Green Machine, probably Hot Zone as well. But those are easy badges to upgrade. But they gave him most of the shooting badges, gave him a 95 shot three. So I definitely think that this is going to be a close comparison to what Grady's going to be like. I definitely think the playmaking is similar. I think they're both similar playmakers. Not going to have too crazy of SIGs, but can definitely move, definitely get a bucket. And then defensively, I think Grady will be juiced up defensively regardless. I definitely don't think he's anywhere near the defender Ben is. But at this point in the game, they're going to juice up these cards defensively. They're not going to have you running around with 55 perimeter defense. They're going to give you most the Hall of Fame defensive badges. And it's just kind of one of those things to where you go through and you just look at these stats and you can say Grady's probably going to be fairly similar. I think his defensive attributes might be slightly lower. I could see Grady coming in with like a 90 perimeter defense, maybe like a 92 lateral, 85 steal, and like an 80 block. I could see that. But I don't see them being crazy lower. Like I said, I definitely don't think Grady's anywhere near Ben in terms of defensive ability. But it's just that time of year that they're going to have you juiced up as a defender anyways. Harden's a demon defender. Even the Dark Matter Kobe card that came out a while ago, which I definitely think Kobe's underrated as a defender. But the consensus that goes around that he's, a lazy defender or whatever it is, and they always juice up his cards defensively. And now especially we're at that point of the game where every card's going to get juiced up. Animations-wise, this card had a Curry size up, which wasn't bad. I believe that gave you the Curry slide last year, so definitely something that a lot of people were into. You would see this card running around a good bit. 6'6" at the 2 or 3 in this game, probably a little bit short. I want to say Grady is, 6'5", 6'6"? Maybe taller, maybe shorter. Not 100% sure there, but he's definitely similar in height. Athleticism-wise, they gave this card 97 speed, 97 acceleration, 98 vertical. I'd say the speed and acceleration will probably be 97 or so for Grady. Vertical will probably be 95. But yeah, I'd definitely say that Grady Dick could be a good card. Depends on his jump shot. That really is what it comes down to. Running him at the 2 or 3 just because he's not crazy tall might be iffy when you have Bowles and Chet Holmgren's running around. But I definitely think that if he's the right price, he could be a really good card in this game. Now, getting into the last one, it is going to be Jabari Smith. I'm comparing him to Brandon Miller, considering Jabari as a 3, that you'd be playing him at the 3 at least. He is a 4 in real life, but in this game, if you had a 6'10", Jabari Smith. You're going to be playing him at the 3 just because of the fact that, like I said, there's Chets running around, there's Bulls running around. You really can't run a 6'10 player at the 4 in this game. Crazy to say, but we're just at that point. So comparing him to Brandon Miller, I think that, it's a pretty one-to-one comparison here. He's gonna have pretty good defense. Playmaking is gonna be a big question for Brandon Miller, in my opinion. He's definitely shown stuff, and there are a good amount of people that are high on him in playmaking. I'm not completely sold on him as a playmaker. I definitely think that he'll grow, but I don't think he's gonna come in as sharp as some people expect him to be. But shooting, Brandon Miller's going to definitely be able to shoot. Good shooter. Brandon Miller, I think, would be slightly better finishing than this. Honestly, I think Jabari Smith should have been better in the finishing category here. More Hall of Fame badges. But, they have to balance the cards somewhat. If you're gonna juice up Jabari on defense, which I don't think he deserved this many defensive badges. If you're gonna juice him up that much on defense, then you got to take something away. So I guess that's what they decided to do. In terms of attributes, I'd say pretty much everything's a one-to-one. If you go through and look at something, there's not much here that I would say is going to be crazy different. I'd say that he'll probably be around 90 ball handle, 95 speed with ball, sounds right. Defensively, sounds about right. And pretty much everything else, 97 shot 3, I'd say that'd be pretty close. Might be just slightly lower, maybe like a 95. I'm not sure. How consistently 2K is dropping 95 or 97 shot 3s in this game. Inside scoring wise, I think it's going to be fairly similar. I think Brandon Miller's dunk will probably be higher. His standing dunk should be pretty similar. Driving layup will probably be higher. But other than that, I think everything on this card is pretty much one-to-one on what we're going to expect. I don't think Brandon Miller will get the rose size up. They haven't given that to too many cards this year. So it'd be interesting to see who they end up giving him. But nonetheless, I do think that card is going to be really good, and I think that it's going to be a card to really look into, especially if they allow him to play the 2. I would expect him to play the 2. If he can't play the 2, I'm going to be a little bit confused there. But with that being said, like I said, Wembanyama is going to be really the main game changer out of these packs. I think that, if you don't have a 7-foot big, or if you do have a 7-foot big, I'd say it might even be time to sell Yao Ming. If you're watching this video before Thursday, before the packs get announced, there are some people that aren't even really considering the fact that Wembanyama will come Friday. Not too many people really are letting that process through their mind, but they're gonna drop those packs Friday. So at this point, today's Tuesday as I'm recording this video. Video will probably be out Wednesday-ish. So you got almost 2 days. You got till like 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon is usually when they start announcing the players that are coming to the game Friday. So you have about 2-ish days to get rid of your tall centers. Like I said before, now's a great time to sell. I'll make a video on what cards to sell. That'll come out tomorrow. That'll come out Wednesday. So now's a great time to sell, like Yao Ming's, Taco Falls, if you're still holding on to the pink diamond for whatever reason. I really don't like you if you're playing with that pink diamond. That card's really annoying. Now's a great time to sell Bulls. Now's a great time to sell any tall center in this game. I'd say even Ralph Sampson might be a good sell. Cards like that, Mark Eaton would be a good sell. These are cards that are going to go down in price. When you add a 7'4" center that's more dynamic than any other 7-footer in the game, this is going to crash the market. And it's going to be pretty crazy. A lot of cards are going to be going for really cheap. Even Invincibles are going to go down. If they really went crazy and dropped them as an Invincible, now that would be a market crash. That'd be crazy. I don't think that that's what they're going to do. But if they did, that would change my team for the rest of the year. My team would truly never be the same. But with that being said, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are hitting that sub button. Let me know what you think about the Wembanyama and all the other cards that we anticipate on coming. Obviously, there's going to be more players than what I said would be coming out today. But if not, maybe they only drop 4. I don't know. My team sometimes trolls. But with that being said, I'm out.